Mahjong are basically card tiles. They're just like cards, and for us to shuffle the cards, we actually just wash the tiles, move them around. And because they don't stack well, because in a deck of cards you can just put them in the middle of the table and you're ready to play, but we have preparation to do, because if we tried to do this with tiles, you can see it's not going to go well. So we end up basically making a set of 4 walls, and that's how we accommodate the tile under the table. So in essence, this equals this. At the beginning of the hand, you'll see everybody roll 2 dice. That's just to determine who's going to be the dealer. The high roll is the dealer. Let's say this person is the dealer. Now you'll see them roll 3 dice. And what we're doing here essentially is counting the walls. 5, 6, 7, 8. We'd count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, starting at the dealer. And we're going to count 8 tiles in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This process happens every time, and the dealer will take the first 4. What we just did was simply this. We just cut the cards. That's all that was. Everybody gets 4. That's just like the dealer going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Everybody will take stacks of 4 until they get up to 12 tiles. And you don't have to know any of this. There's always someone at the table that'll set this up. And then the dealer is going to take the 1 and 3 because he wants 14 tiles. Everybody else will take 1 more tile each, and they'll rack them. Now essentially what you're seeing is that instead of having this in your hand, you have them in front of you in a rack. They're still exactly the same as a card game at this point. In a card game there's 4 suits. There's spades, diamonds, clubs, and hearts. In Mahjong there's 3 suits. We call them bamboos, dots, and cracks. This red mark is why they call it a crack. It stands for character. These are made of dots, and these of course are the bamboos. In reality, this is something you don't have to know, but this stood for a coin, this stood for a stack of coins, and this stood for 10,000 coins. All you have to know is that they look the same. This and this are in the same suit. This and this are in the same suit. This and this are in the same suit. That's all you have to know, because when you make your sets, the sets have to be made in the same suit. A set is simply 3 of the exact same tile, or 3 tiles that are consecutive order in the same suit. You can see these bamboos all match each other, so the 2, 3, 4 are consecutive numbers in the same suit, and these 3 are 3 identical tiles. That's the only way to make a set, and this is that simple actually. There is another type of tile, and that's the winds. There's 4 winds, north, south, northeast, west, and south, news as they call it. And there's 3 dragons, which are the 3 colors. They're different than the number suits in the fact that you can match them, but you can't put them in a run because they don't have a number on them. So if you were to make a match of south, it would look like that. You'd have 3 souths. There's no way to make a consecutive south. It's just they match each other. The white dragon would be 3 whites. That's the only way that winds and dragons can be matched, is to themselves. Those sets will be made, as in any card game, by drawing. You'll draw a tile. We can call them cards. And you're either going to keep that card or you're going to put it back down. If you like to keep the card, you have to get rid of something else. So you discard, and then the play goes to the right. The same thing happens exactly in the game of Mahjong. You're going to draw a tile, just like picking up this tile, card, and you're going to either keep it or get rid of it. And in this case, I'd get rid of it. But you'll immediately see that as people draw tiles and get rid of them with cards, you only see the top card. Only the last tile played is allowed to be picked up by another player. Now let's pick up the cards. At this point, this analogy is unnecessary. Pretty much got that. So the object of the game is to make 4 sets of 3 and a pair of your random tiles. And you do that by drawing a tile and then discarding a tile. I'm the dealer, so I'll start with a discard. So I'm going to discard a 4 crack. Now any player that might have 2 4 cracks could pick that tile up to complete one of their sets. They have to do it right now. You don't have to wait for their turn, they do it immediately. If they don't, then the player will go to the right. There's another rule about it though also. You can also use a discard if you can make a run of it, but only the player to the right is allowed to do that. So the player over here could use my 4 if they have the other 2 parts of a set to make that into a run. Anybody can make 3 of a kind, only the player to the right can use it for a run. So let's continue this mock hand. Player to my right draws a tile. They determine which one they want to keep and they discard a 5 dot. If anybody has 2 5 dots, they can pick it up. If the player to his right can make 3 of a kind or a run, because he's to the right, he's also allowed to make it into a run. Nobody makes action, so the play goes to the next player to the right. He draws a tile and discards an 8 dot. Well, I've got 2 8 dots, so I can complete a set with that. So I do. I put him up front, grab his tile, and then I have to make a discard. So I'll get rid of the 9 dot. Now the game proceeds from my right, starts all over again, so people get missed, it's skipped, and the player goes to the player to my right. Player to my right draws a card, discards. Anybody with 2 greens could have used that. If they can't, player goes to the next player to his right. He draws a 9 crack, discards it. Nobody wants it, goes to the next player. He draws a 5. Nobody wants it. It's my turn. I draw my own tile. I draw a 7 bamboo. Well, I can use the 7 bamboo, but since I drew it myself, I don't have to show it. You only have to show the tiles that you picked up from a discard. So that's one of my sets complete. I have 2 sets that are completed already, sets of 3. I might use this 6. Remember, you have to have a pair also. This is a set that's complete also, so I'm getting really close to winning. I would get rid of the 2 crack. Now all I need to win actually is this 3 dot. The play continues to my right. He draws an 8 crack. Nobody can use it. Play goes to his right. That player draws a 3 dot. Now I can use a 3 dot with my 2 and a 4, but I'm not to the right of the discard. You have to be to the right of a discard to use it as a run. But if it's the last tile you need to win, you can pick up a tile for any reason. You can pick up a tile to make your pair, 3 of a kind, or a run if it's the last tile you need to call Mahjong. So I'd call Mahjong, pick up his tile. I won. You display your tiles in front of you so everybody can see why you called it. 4 sets of 3 in a pair. There's a set, there's a set, there's a set, there's a set, and the pair. So you'll be dealt 13 tiles, so you're going to get 13 tiles and you're going to organize them into numerically into their suits. So the play works like this. You'll be drawing a tile, and then you're going to decide if you want to keep the tile or not, but you have to draw and then discard. Circle of friends. A north can only match to a north. It can't match to a west. So a north has 3 friends in the game that can turn it into a set. It's the same with all the different winds. A dragon. A red can't match to a green. A red can only match to a red. Because remember, your sets are made of 3 identical tiles or 3 tiles in a run. Well, dragons and winds can't turn into runs because they're not a numbered tile. So they can only match themselves. So both the winds and the dragons only have 3 friends each in the game. It's 4 of every tile. A 1 has 3 friends. It can match to itself, but it can also match into a run. A 1, 2, 3. So a 1 has 11 friends. 1, 2, 3, or a set of 3 ones. 9 is exactly the same as that. A 9 can match to itself, and it can turn into a 7, 8, 9. So both the 1 and the 9 have 11 friends. Moving in, the 2 can match to itself, and it can also turn into a 1, 2, 3 and a 2, 3, 4. So a 2 has 15 friends, as does the 8. We're moving in from the 1s and 9s to the 2s and 8s. 8 has a 7, 8, 9 or 6, 7, 8 that it can be involved with besides matching to itself. So 2s and 8s have 15 friends. The cheerleaders of the game, or the most popular tiles that have the most options for use, are 3 through 7. The tiles 3 through 7 have 19 friends. Take 5 for instance, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, or match to itself. So the easiest tiles to use are the tiles 3 through 7. That doesn't mean that the 1s and 9s or 2s and 8s are bad, that just means they're harder to use, as are the Winds and Dragons. There's 4 types of weights in the game. One weight is called an edge weight. That'd be a situation like this where you have a 1, 2, and the only tile specifically is going to fix this for you is the 3 to complete that chow. That's an edge weight because you're on the edge of this. This is a gapped weight, or what they also call a closed weight, because it's boxed in. Only the 5 can fix this for you and turn it into a chow. And the pair weight. Pair weight is waiting for a pair. There's only one specific tile that'll finish that for you. The other style weight is called a double-ended, where both a 4 or 7 will complete this. And when you think about it, if there's 4 4s in the game and 4 7s in the game, there's 8 chances that you can complete this chow. When you're in a situation like this, you have a box weight or an edge weight or a pair weight, there's only 4 tiles. So you've got doubled, when you have a double end, double chances to win. If you're trying to make a pung, there's 2 more tiles in the game that can turn this into a pung. It's kind of weak. Out of 148 tiles, 2 of them will do it for you. Over here, side by side, a 3 or 6. Even though it can only come from your left, I've run the stats on this, it's more likely that you'll complete this than you will this. If you were to have 3 7s and you drew an 8, a lot of people would get rid of the 8 figuring they already have their 3 7s. If you hold on to the 8, there's all kinds of things that open up, and this is early in your hand in the developmental stage. If you were to draw a 6, you'd have a 6, 7, 8, and the 7s would become a pair. If you were to draw a 7, you'd have a Kong and discard this 8. If you were to get a 8, an 8 I should say, then you'd have your pair of 8s, and this is still 3 of a kind. If you were to get a 9, then you have your 7, 8, 9, and the 7 once again is your pair. So hold on to consecutive same suits because they can turn into all kinds of good things for you later on.
哎，你早就这样了嘛？那我这个我用好了。